Hey, what's going on, everybody? Check it out. We're back at it again with a frequently asked question that I get from you guys a lot, and that is about slapping, or the slap technique. Now, we've talked about this a lot in the past, and there's even an entire course dedicated on how to slap, the physical aspect of slapping, the downstroke, the pluck. Everything you need to know is in that course. So if you haven't seen that course, please go back and watch that. And then we're going to be talking about some exercises and switching it up here today, and just making it not as boring as it could be, because if you're slapping and just doing that technique and just doing one note, it becomes a little boring and repetitive over time. So we're going to be switching it up, making it a little interesting today. So let's go. But hey guys, real quick before we get into it, if you haven't visited the Bass Nation Academy by now, I strongly suggest you go do so. There's much more available at DaricBennett.com. All right guys, so I'm going to make this short and sweet. We're going to be going in and out of exercises like that. Okay, so the first exercise is obviously that not so interesting one. We're going to be playing D and the octave. So we're going to be going down, up, or thumb, pluck, thumb, pluck. Okay, let's do that with a metronome. Always important to do that with a metronome or some type of timekeeper. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to be going with the quarter notes that the metronome is making right now. I'm at 94 beats per minute right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. That's an exercise within itself. If you got that, if you're comfortable with it. Now, keep in mind, the whole purpose of this exercise is to be able to get comfortable with slapping. It can be, a pretty weird movement to do if you're not used to doing it. So you really have to get your body and your hands used to being able to going up and down the string like that. Getting comfortable with getting under the string, getting that pluck, getting your dynamics right the right way. So this is what this exercise is beneficial for. So 2, 3, 4. We're going down, down, up, down, up, up. Pretty simple. So we got thumb, pluck, thumb, pluck. We're just alternating. It doesn't matter what note you're starting on. We just happen to be starting on D. So we got down, pluck, thumb, pluck, thumb, pluck. Easy enough. Once you get comfortable with that, we're going to be doing eighth notes. So we're going to double that. Boom, bop, boom, bop, boom, bop, boom, bop. Down, up, thumb, pluck, thumb, pluck. Simple, right? And just make sure your hands are steady. I'm playing with the 1 and the 4 right now because I'm in this register of the bass. Sometimes I use my 4th finger to play this. I know we talk about that 4-finger rule where your 4 fingers have to be across 4 frets. But when I do slapping, or when I do the slap technique, sometimes I use that 4th finger. It just feels more comfortable down in this register of the bass. So anyway, double time. Boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap. Simple, right? Once you get comfortable with that, we're going to move this around. So now we're going to do C, D, G, A. We're going to do the octave of each of those. So we go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're getting somewhere. We're moving this around now. Dap, dap, boom. And remember to keep your hand, because you're doing sets of octaves, keep your hand nice and steady. Clean, clear, and precise. Like I say all the time, guys. Okay, getting a little bit more interesting. Once you're comfortable with that, I'm still at 94 beats per minute. Once you're comfortable with that, we're going to be switching it up again. Let's double that first note. Let's do a 16th note with the first note we play in the first bass note. So the C double, the D double, the G double, A double. Okay, so we're going to do a 16th note. It's going to sound like this. 2, 2, 3, 4. Boop boop bop, 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 boop boop bop. Now, if you're not comfortable with moving that around, you can go right back to the first one that we did. Just staying right there on that single note. Just so you can get used to the rhythm of it. So, but if you're past that, okay, so that's the first kind of section or part of this exercise, is just doing different rhythms, being comfortable with doing the slap, the pluck, different rhythms of the thumb and the pluck. I keep saying slap and pluck, but it's called different. They're called different names. It was actually thump before it was slap. But anyway, you get the idea. So moving that around, just very simple bass line. I'm not doing anything crazy or too intricate. I'm just moving it around in octaves. Okay. So once you get comfortable with that, you can start playing around with the different rhythms that you do. So you can do double for your thumb and then double for the pluck. Okay, so you can actually slow that down so you can get it nice and clean. So let's do 85. I'm going down to 85. 2, 3. Let's go down to 80. 2, 3, 4. Do do ba do do ga do do da. Now, so if I'm doing 16th notes or 16th notes for each of the pairs of notes, so we have boo boo da da do do da da do do da da do do da da. So I'm going to be doing double for the first note and double for the next note. So what I'm doing for that pluck, I'm doing pluck index, pluck middle. Okay, so boo do ga da do do da. Let me subdivide this in 16th notes so you can actually hear exactly what this sounds like. So let's do 16th notes. You'll hear, instead of the metronome doing quarter notes, do bop bop. Let's hear 8th notes. Bop da 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 da. Now let's hear 16th notes. Da, 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 da. And that's the rhythm that you're doing. Now, if you guys are wondering what I'm just using a, I think it's called metronome. Let me see. It is called, I don't know what it's called. It is called Soundbrenner. Soundbrenner. I'll put it up here on the screen. Soundbrenner metronome. I'm pretty sure it was a free metronome on the App Store. And this is iOS. This is Apple. If you guys have Apple, I'm sure Android has that as well. Galaxy phones, whatever you have, it doesn't matter. A free metronome in the App Store. So just grab a metronome, and it allows me to subdivide these notes into 8th notes or 16th notes, and you can really hear exactly what rhythm you're supposed to be doing on top of what's playing at the time. So if you always have the quarter notes playing, bop, 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 you have to make sure your subdivision is correct too. So if you want to make sure it's correct, just change that do do da da do do the 8th notes. I'm off. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, here we go. Now, like I said before, guys, this is going to be getting tougher and tougher as you go along. So you have what, 4 or 5 different exercises already to help you in your beginning stages of your slap routine. And there's so many ways you can play around with these rhythms to get yourself comfortable. In this specific app, I have different ways to subdivide them. I can do triplets as well. Before, we weren't doing triplets. It was a little bit different. So I'm going to show you the difference of what we were doing before versus the triplets version of this rhythm exercise. So the triplets are going to be triplet, 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 triplet. Before we were doing see how it feels different, it sounds different, so don't get that confused too, but you can still practice them all different ways. I would actually suggest that you do. So we have triplets, we have 8th notes, we have 16th notes. It's a ton of different ways. I can subdivide this in There's so many ways I can subdivide this. It's just up to you and to your imagination, but those are several ways that you can start off practicing these basic exercises, getting you used to slapping, and then we can get into the crazy stuff later on. But I want you to get comfortable with it, moving it around, and just being able to enhance that technique that you've already learned from before. All right, make sure your notes are coming out clean, clear, and precise. Like I say all the time, guys, take it slow. If you have any questions, comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.